My name is Edward Einhorn. I'm a student in Judaic Studies 44, Professor Half's class. It's the Department of Judaic Studies at Brooklyn College of the City University of New York. I'm interviewing my mother, Mrs. Alice Einhorn, 1546 53rd Street, Brooklyn. Ma, can you please tell us a little bit about your experience during the Holocaust era?
In 1944, the Hungarians captured us and took us to a ghetto.
Where did they capture you?
They captured me, like all the Jews, in my city town, Nove Zamki. And there we have a hard time, like food and sleeping conditions, which was pretty bad, especially with small children. We was there a few months after they took us to Kasha, this is a city. I was there with my family, my parents, and 4 children. After my hometown, they took us to Košice, another city, in not far from us. The Hungarian gave us over to the German, and of course, was the condition, traveling condition, very bad. No water whatsoever, food very little. So we arrived the city of Auschwitz, which is very known as the worst concentration place in Germany. I mean, actually this was taken in Poland, but occupied by the German, like all the other cities. There, of course, my father took in one side, my mother other side, my brother in other side, my sister. Just I was lucky, I find my sister, one of the ghetto places in Auschwitz. So at least we two was together a whole year, in 3 months in Auschwitz and 9 months in Allendorf, which is a munition factory. You see, the stronger people, the younger people from Auschwitz was selected in 2 parts. One to the gas chamber, which was killed, and the other people was taken like us to the work for the German ammunition factory. There we had a pretty hard time, but finally, end of this year, we was liberated from the American, and that is 1944. Yeah, this is my story.
Ma, Alice Einhorn, what was your feeling in the ghetto towards the overseers, the capos, towards the other prisoners?
I tell you one thing, if I would be a capo in this German with the big dogs was staying back of me, and they will hit you for all the places, I don't know what I would do. I rather would die, but dying wasn't easy there either. Not everybody was lucky to go to the gas chamber in this condition. Some people was, hit to the death. So they have, some people, that doesn't mean they was cowards, but they have no choices whatsoever. Only act like the German was prescribed for them.
Now, I'd like to ask you a few of these questionnaires. Just be a few questions. We'll start off with questionnaire number 1. Number 1. Name of ghettos that you stayed in, if you did. State, date of stay. The following questions give the relevant details for all the ghettos in which you were. Can you name the ghettos that you were in?
I was in only one ghetto, Nove Zamki, my hometown.
Around what date was that? The year?
This was in June 1944.
44. Can you tell me something about the ghetto itself? About the
The
people?
ghetto condition was like all over, very crowded, very bad.
What did the people live on? I mean, did they work?
The people doesn't do nothing because
they
don't.
mentioned.
No, they doesn't let you out from the ghetto. They keep you like a prisoner of nothing, with no name, no condition, and you have to obey.
How did they identify you?
You have to obey for the Hungarian whatever they wanted from you.
For the second question, were you in the same town before the ghetto was set up?
Yes,
You were in the same town?
right.
Uh-huh.
Because ours was a big city, and all from the little city came to us.
I see. And when was the ghetto in your town set up?
Where?
Or when was it started, the ghetto?
Beginning of 1944.
The Germans just moved in, is that the way it was?
Hungarian was captured us.
Or the
This
Hungarian
time.
people?
Right.
You mean the army or...
No, plain Hungarians. The government.
What did the Hungarians do, the anti-Jewish actions before the ghetto was established? Such as pogroms, did they beat you? Were they organized by Germans? Were they, what was it?
Yeah, first, when they came in, actually we was before Czechoslovakia. The Hungarian captured this part of city. And the first day when they came in, they was screaming out the Czech and the Jews together. And they knocked all my windows. The whole house, the whole house was busted. No one window was left. That was the beginning.
But did they beat you physically?
They
or
beat
just the windows?
No. The soldier came to our house and they asked for money and jewelry. Of course we give some, but not everything. So they start to curse and hit my mother.
Okay. In the ghetto, what sort of work did you do?
In ghetto nobody was working because you can leave the ghetto. They let you a little food and that's that. No work, no food.
Okay. If you were a refugee in the ghetto from another place, that means you came from a different city, like a small city to the bigger city like Novosamsky. What was the local inhabitants, the people in Novosamsky, towards you? In other words, if you were an outsider, an outside Jew coming in, what was the attitude between them?
Same nothing. We was desperate waiting something has happened to
Didn't
everybody.
they feel superior?
No.
Nothing,
No feeling whatsoever. We was only waiting some miracle should happen when the condition was very bad. Very crowded and so on.
In the beginning, were you allowed to leave the ghetto?
Never.
So,
when we
even
stepped
in the start?
in, we was like prisoner right away, day from beginning till the end.
Well, could you guess the approximate size of the ghetto?
How many people?
Yeah, how big? An
But
idea? Very
was
hard to judge,
this was a big factory, which was empty, and we was pushed in.
So how many?
It was a big factory, but
was it-
three, I don't know.
How many floors? Was it high up or was it flat out? Do you remember?
This was high and big too. It's
Yeah,
a big
you
place.
remember,
It's a very big place.
huh? Was there a wall or a fence, barbed wire or a physical boundary? What did they
Wire.
use? Barbed wire? That's
Yes.
it? No wall?
I mean, there was wall also a lot of places, and soldier all over was watching us.
Oh, the soldiers were what?
Hungarian soldier was watching us.
Oh, not German.
This time was beginning
The
was
beginning
German.
The beginning
Beginning, pardon, was the Hungarians. Right.
Now the guards at the gates, what did they use? They used like a pass to get in? How were the guards? Were they... The beginning you said they were Hungarian, right?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, what were they? Were they Jewish or German? Or were they
The
German?
guard was always Hungarians.
The guards were always Hungarian. Did they never use the Jews to do it?
No.
Did you have an idea what was happening in the outside world under the Nazis, like in Poland or in Germany itself, what the Nazis were doing?
Slight little rumor you could hear, but you don't believe it. Normal people can't believe it.
Did you have radios in the ghetto or newspapers, underground newspapers?
I mean, in ghetto, sometimes you could, listen to stories, which was true sometimes, but wasn't official stories.
Did you see any letters from abroad?
No, never.
Never, huh? What about the crematoriums and the gas chambers? Did you hear anything about that?
When we arrived in Auschwitz, just happened from the other place, somebody was visiting us, and they told me all the story about he was a doctor actually. He told me all the story about the crematorium.
He was a doctor, Jewish doctor?
Jewish doctor. No, Jewish doctor.
Jewish
a friend of us, yeah.
How did he,
They captured him, they captured me.
so how did he know?
How he knew? Because like a doctor, he was working, I mean,
You
with
got
dead
to
body
know.
and,
Oh,
you know,
oh,
yeah.
oh,
Us they took for a work like cleaning a toilet, you know, in Auschwitz.
Tell me, did you have any personal or family plans to escape? Like with your sister you said that you teamed up with?
From Auschwitz, nobody could escape, only to the gas chamber or to wire, electric wire. This was dead in a way.
There was an electric wire that they used
Yeah,
over
in
there?
a way.
Tell me, what did you eat in the ghetto? What was the rations? How was it distributed?
They give us a little black coffee, little breads, sometimes soup, and
What sort of soup?
any junk soup, anything cooked in. They called soup, but you don't have better.
How
So
often did you eat?
actually, twice, 3 times a day, depends on the mood.
Tell me, when you were confined, how big was the living space? Like how many people in your room, or what were the sanitary agreements? You know, like toilet.
In ghetto? In
yeah.
ghetto or in Auschwitz?
Well, in the ghetto.
In ghetto, we was pushed in like herring, sardines in the boxes.
And in Auschwitz?
In Auschwitz, the condition was even worse because
Wow.
our barrack wasn't even finished. We was like outside. The Hungarian Jews wasn't expected in Auschwitz, nor go through crematorium finished.
Tell me, was there coal or wood for fire, or there was no fire
There.
in Auschwitz?
Fire?
Yeah.
No.
And in the ghetto, a little bit?
No.
So you didn't have no heat?
No.
Tell me, do you remember what the pre-war political parties were there?
In Hungary?
Yeah, in Hungary, yeah. The pre-war political parties.
Jewish parties?
Tell me, well, maybe the Jewish parties, political, you know. I don't know, like the German had the Bund party.
To tell you something, I never mixed in politics. I was too small for it, too busy somehow.
Oh, so, Tell me, do you remember anything about the Judenrat? Who were the people associated with them?
I mean, the Judenrat, but started to do something, you know, like everybody should be quiet and do the best, but there was no help at all.
Well, what do you mean everybody should be quiet?
Like the people in ghetto.
Do you remember the members of the Judenrat in your area? Or the names, maybe?
No, some people was like rich people, I guess, took it to places, and they let them know they should talk this language what the Hungarian expect from them, or not, you know, they would be hit or killed.
Mostly were rich people?
Yeah, few rich people they took it. He have to give speeches, which wasn't anyway accepted.
Tell me, was there Jewish police wherever you were, like Obergedunsten?
Yeah, then no, not in lager. I mean, not in, how you call it? Not in the ghetto.
Not in the
Only
ghetto.
in the lager.
In the lager?
Right.
Were they under the Judenrat control, or did they, or did the Jewish police have their own control?
There was everything through the German control in Auschwitz.
Yeah, but the Judenrat, didn't they have anything to do?
This was only a name, without, this was a title, without power whatsoever.
But tell me, the Jewish police, there were Jewish police
In
Auschwitz.
ghetto.
Not in Auschwitz?
Auschwitz was capos,
What's
not
the
police.
What's the difference?
A capo? I mean, actually, I don't know what the difference.
Were there Polish blue police supervision? Like you once told me that your father was beaten up by a gypsy.
By gypsy, yes.
What do you mean?
You see, the capo was a gypsy. Like the Jewish people, somehow the gypsies was also captured in one category. And of course there was couples.
They were in the ghetto, or was this in Auschwitz?
This happened in Auschwitz.
This happened in Auschwitz.
And just happened one couple hit my father, brother,
Well,
terrible.
You don't have to go into
Yeah.
We're starting questionnaire number 2. Okay. Ma?
Yep.
The date of arrival at the camp, when you went to the camp, what sort of transportation did they use to get to the camp?
Like wagonen, you know, where the horses are traveling usually, they took people, pushed in people.
You mean on wagons, not by train? You don't
It's
go
a
by
train, but
What
not a
did you
regular
use?
train.
Or how did they take you? In your,
From the
Right.
ghetto,
yeah.
they took us to Auschwitz.
How? By
With
the
a-
wagons?
Yeah.
I mean, they were drawn by horses or by...
No, regular wagon, but transportation not for people. This was
I see. Okay,
transportation for
You arrived with your family, right? What
Yes.
happened to them? Most of
In-
them,
in
like
Kasha,
you said.
yeah.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, German came in and they said to my father, because he was the tallest, I guess, if somebody is missing from this wagon, you know, then the whole, whole people who are in will be killed.
Uh-huh. When you arrived, there was a selection.
When we arrived, was a selection, right and left.
Can you describe the size of the camp, its guard system?
When we came, a German tour guy named Dr. Mendele was on the corner with music together, and he was charged with the selection, who have to be alive and who have to be died right away through the gas chamber.
Tell me, can you try to recall some of the names of the commanders, the officers, or the men that were there? Maybe their characteristics? Remember any names? German names?
No names, only Dr. Mendel I remember, and a few other guys like in uniform. And big dog, the German dog I do remember.
What about their characteristics?
Like what?
Their nature.
I mean, it was a beautiful garden with a beautiful music, and the German was...
After you were inside already.
They cut our hair, and we have to take a shower, and they took all our hair and jewelry and dresses, everything out. And they threw us a little junk dress, and that's what we have to wear it.
Okay, you know how many Germans guarded the camp? Maybe how many non-Germans, like Goyim, were there?
In Auschwitz, there was mostly SS.
There were SS?
Yes, and a few Wehrmacht.
You remember
Soldier.
the names of the Wehrmacht?
No names. They never talked to us. They always screamed to us.
You wouldn't remember an incident that would be able to accuse a Nazi of war atrocities, would you?
Not exactly, but there was, if you don't go quick, they hit you and they scream on you and so on.
The people who were your roommates, the other people, who were prisoners just like you, can you guess how many there were and the ages, maybe the sex, that they mixed men and ladies together?
By us was only ladies.
Only ladies. Jews and non-Jews, or just Jews?
Jews and only young Jews, young girls.
And where did they mainly come from?
Hungary.
And you came from Hungary. And you said that you worked by munitions. What did you do by munitions?
After Auschwitz, they took us to a lager named Allendorf. There we have to prepare grenades.
Where is Allendorf?
Allendorf is thief in Germany.
How did you get there? By train?
By train.
Tell me, the capos, they were good and bad ones?
I tell you something, the capos was bad, but again, if I would be a capo, I don't know, I could be better.
I know. What about the food? Can you get into the food a little bit more?
The food was terrible, miserable, like the condition alone.
Tell me,
Like a
what did
little-
you eat for breakfast?
A little black coffee, when we was lucky, we get a little milk
Sugar?
to it, no sugar
No
whatsoever. A
Alright.
little black bread, this was for a whole day, like a slice,
How many slices did you get?
Like a slice for a
One
whole
slice?
day. Like a,
Uh-huh.
and I work in a hard labor like a munition factory. And a little soup. Sometimes we have a little like
you see any people
Frankfurter.
killed? Excuse me. You see any people killed?
Just happened, I don't. Only who died, you know, from the cold and no food whatsoever.
Were there actions in the camp, you know, to beat the people up, something like that?
In this lager, they needed badly worker. Just happened they let us work how long we died.
I mean, this was later in the war already.
Right.
Were there any attempts to escape?
We was all over with German guards, all over. The whole factory was all over through the guards.
So the appetite went away, huh? Was there an underground somewhere?
Yes.
Or planned
The
resistance?
partisans, like the Yugoslav partisan, was captured also there. And they tried to escape.
Did
which-
they try to escape?
Yes,
Yeah.
a few of them, and they was killed in the corner of the places, you know.
They didn't make it, huh?
He never, two of them tried it, but they never make it. They were dead on the place.
Or in the camp, was there any cultural activity?
No, but just happened, they walked through the Yugoslav partisan, and they, when they had a chance, they always give us like a little bread, what they ever had.
I mean, they were nice to you?
They was very, extremely nice, because
Why?
we was singing the Yugoslav hymn. We knew it, the language.
Were there any children in the camp?
No children,
Hidden children?
no.
In Auschwitz?
In Auschwitz was children, of course.
Yeah. No.
In Seelager was some children, but not too long. They was killed.
What was the relations between the Jewish inmates? You know. What was the relations between the Jewish inmates?
The German give us some kind of medication, like we wasn't exactly normal. We was so calm, like never in my life.
I mean, Ma, was there, like, there was a difference between groups of some town, between other people from a different town, between Poles and Jews, you know?
No, we was all of very big trouble, so we was
Did
together.
you receive any help from the inmates?
I mean, if they could help us, they did.
What do you mean?
Like they said, don't worry, everything will be over soon and so
Were
on.
you ever sick
I was very sick in Auschwitz, yes.
in Auschwitz? Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you recover?
Just alone, just by luck.
What about the munitions factory? You once got hurt, right?
Yeah, once a bomb fell off my foot.
A bomb?
Yeah, but doesn't explode, so I was still in one piece.
So what happened?
Nothing. They took me in, like they have a little hospital, and doesn't do nothing. So I was able to stay there like 3-4 hours. That's all.
Was there any medical attention?
No, they needed worker badly, but still, no. But no, not so well.
What sort of clothes did you wear? You said before schmatters. What sort of schmatters?
I mean, leftover, anything what the Auschwitz throw out, you know,
And the sanitary conditions?
was also, you know, the minimum.
And did anybody receive mail? I think I asked you that.
No mail. Even they got it. They never was sent it to the party.
Thank you very much, Ma.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.